Okay guys, back out here in my shop. Haven't been out here in a while. It's been probably 3 or 4 weeks since I've been out here to really do anything. So I'm working on a little project today that I actually built one of these just about 2.5 years ago, I think, according to the date. I actually engraved the date on the back of this as April 2011. But this was a nice little gun rack. I don't know if you can see that. I'll see if I can get that closer. It's called a Second Amendment gun rack. It's got the Second Amendment on the front. It's got some nice eagles engraved there. And I got this, a guy that did this on, that's on the Vectric forum was kind enough to share these files with everybody. So I made this little gun rack about, like I said, about 3.5 years ago. But I'm going to make another one, only this time I'm going to try to change it up a little bit. So putting the Second Amendment on there, I'm going to put a little something different on the head there. And just stick around and you'll see how this comes out. Okay, I got the bottom and the sides cut out now, so now I'm going to work on the top. That's the only piece left to do. And while I'm getting my workpiece fastened in here, I'll talk about a little bit about what I'm using here. This is just a piece of Select Pine that I got from Lowe's. It's got some nice grain in it, and the good thing about the Select Pine, it's a little more expensive than just the regular pine like you get for shelving boards and stuff like that, but it doesn't have any knots in it. It's got a nice grain, no knots, and it's pretty good stuff to work with, especially if you want something lightweight. And this will be hanging on a wall with some guns on it, so don't really need to make the gun rack any heavier than what it needs to be. Also notice I've like most of the things I program it coming off the center line. So this piece is 28, and this is like a 1x12, so it's really measuring about 11 1/4. So I come down 5 5/8 there and come over 14, and I find my center point. When you're, as I've talked about before, when you're cutting stuff out of a skeleton, you don't have to be super precise, so you don't have to get real anal about getting that dead nuts in the center. You could also, if you want to do it before you put it on here, you could lay a straight edge and go corner to corner, and where they intersect, that'd be the center. But it's not really that critical when you're doing stuff with a with a skeleton around it. So I just want to make sure that I get it close enough to the center that I'm not going to hit any of my clamps. Okay, we finished with the top here. Actually, this thing looks like it broke loose as it was finishing up here. But looks like it turned out okay. No damage there. Anyway, this is going to be the top. I probably mentioned this in a previous video, but if I didn't, I'll mention it again. Sometimes when you're engraving something, you'll get some little fuzzies down inside here. And a good way to try to keep the sanding down to a minimum, especially because it's hard to get down in here, is to just, when this program finishes and it goes back home, you just basically hit the start button again and let it go over it a second time, kind of doing a finish pass or a cleanup pass, and that will eliminate a lot of the fuzzies and stuff that gets down in here. So a little sanding and a little assembly here, and we'll have ourselves a gun rack. Okay guys, here's the little gun rack after it's all assembled. Like I said, it's a very simple project because I just use a straight cutter or end mill or whatever you want to call it, just for all the pieces. The only engraving is right here, and you see I put the familiar "Don't Tread on Me" emblem on there. And all I did basically, before I assembled this, I kind of rounded this over, because when I'm cutting this piece in the sides, obviously using a 1/4 inch router router bit, you're going to have a 1/8 inch radius, so I just put a round over in my router table and rounded that over rather than try to square that up. And you know, you could do it either way. You could either square this up and leave this squared off, or you can round this over and match the radius. I like to match the radius. I think it gives it a little better look. And also I took a little sanding block and just kind of lightly hit the edges here, you know, just to kind of smooth the edges a little bit. On this up here, what I did is engraved it with that V-bit, and then basically what you're seeing there is just some primer, you know, some regular old red primer paint, and I sprayed, you know, I kind of masked this off so I wouldn't get it all over the place, and then I just kind of sprayed it and then took my sander after it dried and went back over it, and you know, what you have is what's left excuse me, what's left down inside the groove, so it kind of makes it pop a little bit. Still got to put some polyurethane on there, but I want to go ahead and show it to you now, because once I spray it up it'll have to sit and dry for a long time, so I thought I'd go ahead and show it to you now. Just kind of held together with some screws, nothing fancy. You could glue it up too if you wanted to. I think that's how I did the other one that I made. I think I used screws and glue on that. But again, this is Select Pine. It's just simply a 1x12 that you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot. Doesn't have any knots in it. It's got some nice grain, and that should look really good once I put the spray urethane on. Anyway, I want to thank all my new subscribers. We've got a bunch of new subscribers the past several weeks, and so far 2014 has been a pretty good year as far as my YouTube channel goes. So I appreciate all your support, and thanks for watching.